The defender of the green. Swamp Thing.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're shouting out DC's most underrated icons. We'll save villains for another list entirely. Beware of some minor spoilers ahead.
Whoa! Let's not get off on the wrong foot here, because that's one foot you don't want to step on.
Number 20, Jonah Hex. A cowboy from the Wild West, Jonah Hex has kicked butt and taken names every time he's popped up. But this physically scarred gunslinger with a chip on his shoulder could never hurt for more exposure. Despite being primarily from the past, Jonah has managed to cross paths with famed heroes on multiple occasions. His collaborations with Batman tend to be the most popular.
At least take this and get yourself a proper cowboy hat. Now, I can't be partnering up with someone who parades around in that ridiculous bat getup.
While he's had live-action adaptations, none of them quite propelled Jonah into superstardom. The ill-received movie based on him arguably made sure of that. But with the right material, this hero of the past could become a beloved fixture of today.
Playtime's over. Anybody's got a problem with that? They answer to me.
Number 19, the Huntress.
They call me Huntress.
Born into the prominent Bertinelli crime family, Helena's life took a drastic turn after her family was murdered. She became a vigilante named the Huntress who showed little mercy to enemies. Along the way, she often ran into Batman. While her status within the Bat family is often up in the air, she's definitely a skilled hero who deserves the spotlight. Huntress's connection to the Bat family is also deeper than you might think. During the Silver Age, Huntress was actually Helena Wayne, Batman and Catwoman's daughter. That's one hell of a family tree. She's also been a reserve member of the Justice League and a core member of the Birds of Prey. Helena definitely has a story worth telling.
And now I'm done.
Bravo.
Number 18, Starman. While initially reluctant, Jack Knight eventually inherited his father's mantle and became Starman, protector of Opal City. It might be cliche to say, but Starman's not like other heroes. Jack was part of the early counterculture wave of superheroes that have become so popular today. He didn't dress like a hero, didn't sound like one, and definitely didn't always act noble. But Jack eventually proved to be truly worthy of his dad's cosmic staff.
Someone with honor and strength must carry the torch.
This Starman even had a critically acclaimed comic written by James Robinson. However, the closest thing we've gotten to seeing him in live action was Sly Pemberton's version of the character on Stargirl.
Starman! I told you to wait in the car!
We think Jack needs some time to shine. Number 17, Etrigan.
Gone the form of man. Lies the demon Etrigan.
It might be odd to admit that we love a character who's a literal demon, but we honestly love to root for Etrigan. When the knight Jason Blood betrayed a king for Morgan Le Fay, he was punished swiftly. The warrior was subsequently given immortality while being cursed to share his body with the demon Etrigan. He's an imposing, fierce, and powerful demon who loves to light up enemies. But the most striking thing about him might be that he mostly speaks in rhymes.
Once more with words of metered rhyme comes Etrigan the Slayer just in time.
While Etrigan might be a demon, he's not actually that bad of a guy. This gruff icon has helped DC heroes numerous times. Etrigan's combat skills are only surpassed by his talent for rhymes. Oh, great, now we're doing it. Number 16, Plastic Man. A lot of corners of the internet would have you believe that Plastic Man could single-handedly defeat the entire Justice League. And maybe he can, but honestly, that's not really why we love him. We're huge fans because he's a big goofball. When Patrick O'Brien was exposed to a mysterious substance after a botched heist, he discovered his whole body was now elastic.
Those chemicals turned me into the freak I am today. The only reason you ever helped me is because you feel guilty.
This got him into all kinds of zany hijinks before he became the hero known as Plastic Man. He can stretch his limbs out for miles and miles, turn himself into virtually any object, and even shrink himself. Plastic Man is so versatile that the fact that he's not in more DC media is downright criminal.
Hang in there, Bats. I swear I won't let you down again.
Number 15, John Constantine.
We need to talk, you and I. But if you try and summon Etrigan, I'll fill your lungs with bile before the first verse is done. Savvy?
At first glance, John Constantine looks like someone that you should avoid. And the chain-smoking, vulgar occult detective has screwed over just about everyone he's crossed. But despite that fact, you can't deny that John's very resourceful and wickedly cool. He's gotten one over on demons, devils, and all sorts of other nasty entities. Despite having a wide knowledge of the occult and access to tons of useful spells, Constantine still isn't a household name. But his great stint on Legends of Tomorrow alone is proof that he can be a compelling and powerful hero. This is someone who seriously knows how to raise some hell with a sly smile on his face.
Oh, they're in for one hell of a ride.
Number 14, the Doom Patrol.
What the hell is that?
Now comes your reckoning!
Oh, God.
Being constantly overlooked is kind of the Doom Patrol's entire thing. This team of individuals who are shunned from society has existed for a while. They even predate the X-Men by a few months. But throughout their tenure, they've been seen as little more than rejects. Admittedly, they do tend to get into plenty of bizarre and wacky scenarios. But that's part of their whole charm. Robot Man, Crazy Jane, the Chief, and more defy the superhero mold. However, they still have saved tons of lives by staying true to themselves. Their critically acclaimed live-action show has done a great job getting their names out there. But if they don't get into more media soon, the terrific team may be doomed to languish in obscurity.
Look, we were the only people in this whole entire world who got Danny's SOS and followed it here. We're standing inside the heart of a sentient street. It's not a magic painting with a giant-ass cockroach.
Number 13, the Human Target.
Christopher Chance. John referred to you as the human target. Well, that works better as a job description.
This is so weird.
Christopher Chance is either the bravest man alive or the most reckless. As a bodyguard, he takes protecting his clients to a whole new level. Using his special expertise, Christopher disguises himself as clients who are often in serious trouble. He then puts his life on the line to save them as the Human Target. He's a thrilling, no-nonsense, Bond-esque action hero, and you can never go wrong with that. Tom King wrote a brilliant Human Target series for DC Black Label, but outside of a few scattered appearances, he rarely appears outside of the comics. This sneaky character is just begging to suit up as anyone in more DC projects.
So thanks for doing this.
Being killed is basically my job.
Number 12, Zatana.
Little slow on the switch. Gotta watch that.
What was it? Some kind of hologram? Or was it the real thing?
It's called sorcery, Bruce.
This magician will take your breath away, and she probably literally could with the right spell. Having been trained by her father, Giovanni Zatara, Zatana quickly became a skilled magician. She's able to cast her spells by speaking backwards. While it may sound like a little silly at first, trust us when we say she makes it extremely effective. She's capable of doing anything from pulling rabbits out of hats to altering reality. Zatana's been a member of both the Justice League and its dark counterpart. Between her incredible magical abilities and iconic costume, she's a heroine that is perfect for the spotlight. Zatana is a character that would definitely enchant audiences in a big live-action spectacle. Number 11, Captain Atom.
I've got my orders, legal and proper.
Dude, Superman just told you to step aside.
I heard him, ma'am. Not gonna happen.
Captain Atom's the bomb, literally. Nathaniel Atom was an officer in the Air Force whose body became gifted with nuclear energy powers after intense experimentation. As Captain Atom, he's an immensely powerful superhero with virtually limitless energy and time-based abilities. He was also an inspiration for Watchmen's all-powerful Dr. Manhattan. You'd think having all that power and being the basis for a legendary powerhouse would make him a major focus. Instead, DC has mostly just relegated him to being a guy who blows up all the time. Captain Atom is absolutely a superhero who could use more love and screen time.
Captain, I can't let you...
I was watching and listening. This is the least I can do.
Number 10, Wildcat.
And that means we have a winner. Still the undefeated champ, Wildcat!
While some heroes fight evil with incredible powers or high-tech gadgets, this cat-suited crime fighter makes do with just his fists. A former heavyweight prizefighter, Ted Grant, was framed for the murder of one of his opponents and created a costumed alter ego while attempting to clear his name. After he was exonerated of the crime, Ted kept fighting crime and became a member of the Justice Society of America. Despite being a humble pugilist, Ted's gone toe-to-toe with some of the DC Universe's nastiest villains, and has trained numerous other heroes in the art of combat. This includes Ted's son Tommy, who has the ability to transform into a werecat.
Believe me, fighting's nowhere near as tough as this is gonna be.
Number 9, Power Girl.
Is that true?
It's complicated.
No, it isn't.
This powerful hero dates back to the Silver Age of comics and is actually the classic version of Supergirl, whose Earth was destroyed in DC's epic Crisis on Infinite Earths event. At least that's who she is these days. Like many DC characters, her origins have had a revision or two over the years. But regardless of where she comes from, this is one powerhouse you don't want to mess with. Like all Kryptonians, she has staggering strength and resilience, which she puts to good use when the time comes to dish out the pain. She's loud, proud, and doesn't take any nonsense, and we wouldn't have her any other way.
You're absolutely sure this is going to work?
Does Power Girl have big...
Just feed it the numbers, kid.
Number 8, Animal Man. You'd think that a superhero who can channel the powers of animals wouldn't be the most interesting character out there. And for the most part, you'd be right. But this DC underdog got really interesting really fast when his first solo series, penned by writer Grant Morrison, came out in the 1980s. Under Morrison, the character was not only used to comment on animal rights issues, but also taken on a head-spinning existential journey that ended up with him face-to-face with his own writer after becoming aware of his own fictional nature. And when he's not neck-deep in complex meta-commentary, the character is also a devoted husband and father. Number 7, the Spectre.
Spectre, what's your stake in all of this?
That depends on you.
Perhaps one of the most powerful heroes in the DC pantheon, this green-cloaked anti-hero is the literal embodiment of the wrath of God, the angel of vengeance charged with punishing the guilty. So naturally, he's no pushover. Over the years, the character has taken a number of human hosts through which to carry out his mission, including police detective Jim Corrigan and former Green Lantern Hal Jordan. The character's thirst for vengeance against any wrongdoers has put him firmly in the anti-hero camp on many occasions, especially when he lacks a human host to keep him grounded. So what we're saying is, don't get on his bad side.
Funny how Chill just happened to be under that crumbling ceiling when it came down.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Number 6, Dr. Fate.
My apologies for the delay.
And speaking of characters from the more mystical side of the DC universe, this supernatural character dates back to some of the earliest DC stories, having been a founding member of the Justice Society of America. Empowered by the otherworldly Lords of Order, the many characters who have taken on the role have all been incredibly powerful spellcasters, charged with guarding the earthly realm against all manner of magical threats. This means that the good doctors have faced everything from gods, demons, and even the sinister Lords of Chaos.
Give it up, Naboo! Order went out of style in the 20th century!
Number 5, the Question.
You fell asleep. Excuse me if I bore you.
Suitable for a hero without a face, this crime fighter is an ambiguous figure waging a one-man war against crime ever since initially appearing in the pages of Charlton Comics before the character was acquired by DC. Operating from the shadows, this crusading detective is dedicated to uncovering corruption and conspiracies, no matter how sinister. He may not have superpowers, but don't let that fool you into thinking he's a pushover. He's one of the most capable martial artists in the DC universe. With his face obscured by a mask made of an experimental material called pseudoderm, he's been a thorn in the side of corruption and graft everywhere.
It bites having someone in your head, doesn't it?
Number 4, Booster Gold.
Can I have your autograph?
Of course you can.
I thought you were Green Lantern.
Some superheroes get into the spandex scene thanks to a deep-set altruism and a need to make the world a better place. This gold-clad glory seeker isn't one of them. Once a star athlete turned janitor in the 25th century, this hero would steal a number of superhero-related equipment from a museum and travel back in time to make a name for himself as a 20th century crime fighter. He's been somewhat successful, but as often as he's found glory and fame, he's spent just as much time palling around with his best pal, Blue Beetle. He may not be the most upstanding superhero in the game, but his heart's in the right place, usually.
For the last time, I am not Green Lantern. My name is...
Just kidding. I know who Booster Gold is.
Number 3, Static.
What do you think? Don't know what to think, Rich. But I'll keep an electric eye out for him.
This electrifying hero originally debuted in the pages of Milestone Comics, a publisher with a focus on minority characters. The publisher eventually went under, but after a successful animated series in the 2000s, the character was brought into the DC universe and made a member of the Teen Titans. When not using his electric powers to fight crime, he's just a normal, everyday teenager with a passion for all things geeky. And he often has trouble balancing his personal life with his career as a costume hero. And who wouldn't?
Well, time to head home. Amen. But the subway's out, okay?
Number 2, Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
My real name is Katar Hall. But you can call me Hawkman.
Remember before when we said that DC heroes can sometimes go through several origin stories? Well, these winged heroes are no exception. The pair were originally an archaeologist and his wife who used magical Egyptian artifacts to fight crime. Later on, the pair were rewritten as alien police officers from the planet Thanagar. Getting the various incarnations of DC's favorite winged couple to make sense is a continuing headache. The two are nevertheless some of the fiercest fighters in the DCU, using magical weapons made of nth metal to dish out justice from their home in Midway City.
I've waited thousands of years for us to find each other. I can wait a little longer.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Swamp Thing.
John Constantine. You dare threaten the Green.
The chosen avatar of the Green, the collective power of Earth's plant life. This mossy Avenger's mission is to protect the Earth from any who would do her harm, including but not limited to us humans. This has put him at odds with other heroes before, but his wife Abigail keeps his distrust of humans in check. And thank goodness for that, as his power over plant life makes him a force to be reckoned with. One capable of going toe-to-leafy-toe with DC's best. He's even given Batman a pummeling and helped fight off demons, supervillains, and the primordial darkness. Think about that next time you break out the Weed Whacker.
I will take you there, so you are no longer here.
Is there a hero you'd love to see more of that we missed? Hype them up in the comments.
I only know John Constantine because he enrages me.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.